Yo, I did it again. I always do that. Keep my damn volume. Hold on.
Get that tested over.
Hold on, man. This live, so we don't pre-record nothing. But yeah. No Huddle Podcast. Here we go. We live again. And this was one of the what's up, Matt? What boy Matt? Matthew Polk. One of my former co-workers there. Cool dude there. That dude Matt, boy. That. Anyway, man, welcome to the No Huddle Podcast again. We got through another week of football. There was game Friday and last night. Yeah. And John Tyler looked pretty good. Looked like the team that we wanted to see this year from the start. You know, they came out, they did the thing. You know, it was early in on. I seen it because I got some updates on the forum. Man, it was early in the game. It was 10-0, and Texas High looked like they was going to win. They was going to just put away with it, but the game just drastically changed in a second, like in a snap of a finger. JT was up like 21-10 in no time. You know, everybody like, oh, this is the same old thing. Defense can't stop this, but I don't know what did. Something happened, and they did the thing, and they pulled away with it. The running game, the highlights I saw, the running game was really, really good. That dude Hawkins, man. I know Cam Grant is the big star back, but that dude Hawkins, man, he just doesn't go down. Like, he just runs like if I could compare him to anybody in the NFL, he'd be like a Marshawn Lynch type, but probably faster. Like, the way he just doesn't go down, the dude just breaks tackles like it ain't nothing. And having him and Cam Grant, that running game is gonna be something real good for going on through the season, especially in the playoffs. Like I said, this team right here, if they would play the way they played like this, they could have beat teams like the Cedar Hills and the Longviews and stuff. You know, because they're gonna face teams like that going in the playoffs. We already know that. We know it's gonna be some competition in the playoffs, and if they keep playing this way, they can be the favorites to go deep in the playoffs. You know, this team started out. Nobody really expected much, but let's just see what happens. You know, because Texas High was supposed to be a team that was supposed to compete for the district title. I mean, this is the first game, but losing to JT in their first game means they still got to go on the road. They got to go somewhere, wherever their schedule takes them. They got to go and beat the Poteets and other schools. If they can't beat because we got Wiley East or Wiley West, whatever, coming up this week. What if they lose to them too? What if Texas High loses to them somewhere down the road whenever they play them? I mean, so this first game was pretty huge in district too. And the way they just handled Texas High, a team that was supposed to be pretty good, you know, makes me wonder, hey, what happens when Poteet comes into town? You know, what's gonna happen when they when is Poteet? That's a road game, ain't it? Poteet, yeah. Pretty much every game you play is in Dallas, y'all. I think this is the only game you're gonna see at home next week, besides senior night. So yeah, we're gonna If that, like I said, JT can keep winning, because like I said, I knew the schedule was going to get pretty easy after these first four games that they came out, and you know, Cedar Hill, Longview, you know, the league game was a good game, pretty much a big blow, but then, you know, the Euless Trinity thing, didn't get to play that game, but we know that game probably could have went either way. It could have been real bad for us, real good. So, you know, we never know what would happen in that game. But all of that is out the way. Playing all these tough teams got them prepared to play teams in their district now. And wow, that's what we see. 51-13 win. They're like these are the. And if you remember JT dropping down to 5A before, these were the type of games we was used to seeing. You know, playing Lindale and stuff, and White House, and just blowing them out 63-8 and 75-4, whatever. Just blowing people out left and right every game. Like, this is right back to the same thing because these Dallas schools that they have in the district aren't that good, and the Wiley team, I don't know much about them, but I know they're like 0-3, 1-3 or something, and they're not that good. And this is gonna be JT's homecoming, so it looks like they want to get a good turnout. I mean, if things work out the way I think it's gonna work it, I think we might be seeing the second and third string team coming in around halftime. I mean, I'm not trying to say that these dudes are bad, but just the way I see it, if they did this to Texas High, what could they do to this Wiley East team? Like, I don't even know much about them besides the only Wiley team I always know about is the Wiley team that we played in the playoffs and that once in the game, the old game. Y'all remember the game where Greg Ward fumbled in the end zone? Where they say he fumbled, but I still think this day was a touchdown. And that game right there costed JT from going to, I believe it was like the 5th round to meet, I think it was Mesquite Poteet that's going to face next after that game. But I remember they said Greg Ward fumbled, and they called it a touchback, and I don't think Greg Ward fumbled that game. I think to this day he never did fumble in the end zone. Plus it was in Wiley's hometown. Like, I don't know, that was crazy. But nevertheless, man, the offense got going. Street did his thing. Grant ran for 122. I mean, it was the running game, this run fest that they did against Lee. They did it against Lee. I think they had a pretty good game in the running game against in the scrimmage too. And I think besides like the Longview, they was moving the ball, but kind of this, the offense kind of just stalled when they got in the red zone and stuff. Like, I guess they know when they can do what they got to do, then this team is really clicking. When they can just do what they're supposed to do, then they're pretty much almost unstoppable. Once they just get out and just do what they got to do, play the game, and don't let the defense. The defense is the one thing that's probably going to get troubles because the defense, the secondary has been kind of iffy these first few games. They've been kind of iffy, and they've been getting burnt deep in pass situations. But I think that this Friday it looked pretty good from what I saw and heard and everything. It looked pretty good, but can they keep that momentum into this next game to Wiley? And then I believe it's another road game after that. After this home game, well, it pretty much is because senior night is the next game that we see JT back at home. So, but hopefully that means that JT, I think this win right here probably pretty much guarantees JT not to see Lufkin in the first round, but it probably guarantees Texas High if they make it to see Lufkin in the first round of the playoffs. So, we might still end up seeing Lufkin somewhere down the road, but at least not gonna be in the first round, if the way things are going now. So, yep, that's what it is, man. A great turnout. But one thing I had to say, for looking at the highlights, I know that we've had bad times watching and JT. They've had some tough games and stuff, but I looked at the crowd and it was not as packed as JT fans usually be. We travel real heavy, but the stands didn't look as big as packed at the game in Texarkana. I mean, I know the fair and everything is out here, and JT wasn't gonna get no home game like they usually do around this time to go to the fair and watch the game. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the reason, but it was just like I looked at the crowd, it just wasn't as big and packed, and I was like, from them getting beat in Longview and stuff, and then I'm thinking, people are just kind of just starting to give up on them. Like, I know they're not giving up on them, but then I was thinking just the fair and all this stuff going on. But in Texarkana, people that maybe didn't want to drive, I don't know. But I just put that, looking at this right out, I pointed that out. It just kind of clicked in my mind, like, wow. JT, usually if JT side would be more packed than Texarkana side over there when they travel, and they're supposed to be the home team. So it was weird to see that. It was just kind of weird to see that the stands wasn't that packed. But I guess next week home game. This one should be pretty big because it's homecoming too. So hopefully got and I know these travel to Dallas too. Yeah, and these 2-hour trips. So I know that's the other thing. I know the people might not like to drive these long drives, but hey, this is the court thing was dealt this year. So more drives to Dallas. I mean, I know the playoffs. When the playoffs start, you're gonna be driving to Dallas probably pretty much anyway. That or Waco, I'm pretty sure. So might as well get the miles on your car now, and it's not till later. So yeah, man, good week of football for JT. Good week. Everything was clicking. Everybody was just doing what they're supposed to do. Street had 2 touchdowns, I believe. That dude Street is a monster. The shirts still need to get made. Throw the Street. They just got to throw it to him. He had like 2 catches. I mean, I know Woods probably sees him and, he might be covered and you're scared to throw to him as much, but you just got to throw it to him. Just throw it to him. It doesn't matter if it's covered, if he's not covered. Just throw it to him. He's going to catch the ball. Like, that's something they have to get Street more involved in the game. But yeah, we moving on. Wiley East got CJ in here. And I hope y'all listened to my story I told last week. That was the most embarrassing moment in my music career ever too. I'm telling you, it was so embarrassing. It's just the way it happened. But yeah, man, we got CJ coming on to talk to y'all while he's texting all these women over here and everything. But anyway, man, we know Huddle Podcast, man. We doing our thing. Like I said, I was talking to him about subscribers, and he's talking about I should do like a sports podcast. I'm probably gonna get that in the works too, like for like NFL and stuff. So be looking for that. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good game. I'll stay. I would click it on it and watch it for y'all, but I don't want to get copyrighted. But yeah, it's going down.
Yes, what's happening, world? What's happening? Look. Hey, we got something good to talk about this week, don't we? Now, when this game was going on, I had to see how JT was going to respond, making a good drive to Texarkana, even though Texas High was coming off a big loss at home to Kilgore. That's a tough place to play. And Texas High is usually a solid team. Like I said, they got Clack, the quarterback, pretty solid. They always got solid skill players. So even though John Tyler, they don't want. This is the 5th straight win for them against Texas High. So but you never can take them lightly. They always a solid football team, pretty well coached, but they got it going. They got it going pretty early. Started off kind of slow, of course. Texas High jumped out to a little lead, but once they got it going, it was in cruise control from there. You know what I'm saying? So now maybe the extra week, since the game got canceled last week against Euless Trinity, maybe that did some great things for them. Allowed them to, lock in even more and more time to focus on a formidable opponent. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I was just seeing how they would respond. It was the opening game of district. You want to come out, especially John Tyler having a very tough non-district schedule. You want to come out. You want to set the tone for the rest of the game in district. You really don't want to start out 1-0 when you got some tough opponents coming up. Even though Wiley East probably, they might finish last in the district. I'm gonna just look. They're coming off, 1 or 2 wins, I believe, from last year. They're 1-4 currently. So, but you really can't overlook no one. Don't underestimate. Respect everybody. Don't underestimate nobody. Just it's kind of like, hey, we see what happened to Minnesota and Buffalo last week, but I think Green Bay is going. remember what they did to Minnesota, and they're going to take care of business in Lambeau. But that's the NFL. Let's get back to John Tyler. The running game, I thought this right here. If the running game can do that, John Tyler is pretty much unbeatable. And especially the defense, what they did in the second half, and I'll go over a few stats here in just a minute, but if the running game can rush what they have, I believe they had 363 yards rushing as a team. If they can do that and just control that game, they're pretty much unbeatable. Because that's going to also open up the passing game when they want to. And then you can hit Street over the top, who can take the top off the defense, and Devlin Woods, can spread it around however he likes. So, but once they got the running game going, they cruised to 51 points, 51-13. So, and I was paying attention how much the defense locked down the second half. Think about this. JT's defense limited Texas High just 22 yards in the second half. 22 total yards in the second half. 1 first down in the second half. Texas High, they only managed 205 yards total for the whole game, while John Tyler 509. And 363 of that was passing. So, and I believe Devlin Woods, he chipped in with about 146 passing. So hey, that next week you got a opponent that on paper you should probably dominate the game, but just take care of your business early. It's homecoming night. It's a game that you don't want to lose. You definitely don't want to lose on homecoming, especially to an inferior opponent on paper. That's why the game is played. Like I said, Buffalo beat Minnesota in Minnesota, one of the hardest stadiums to play in, against many people say a Super Bowl contender because they loaded on both sides. And it happened convincingly. So,
got leaked by Josh Allen. You can't get leaked on by a rookie quarterback. Anthony Boyd is no longer a lead defender in this league. He took his card is taken now. His elite defender card, linebacker status is taken until he does something good. You don't get leaked over by a rookie quarterback. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Maybe unless Michael Vick did it. But see, here's the deal. Y'all. Like I say, that rushing game paid away. The defense. Now, if that defense can play like that, it's gonna be a good district run. But my thoughts after this game, this big win against Texas High, is they started 1-0. This is a new season. Now you could go for 2-0. And if you go for 2-0, heading into the game against West Mesquite the following week, who's usually a formidable opponent, before you play the Poteet and the McKinney North, who probably that might be your two toughest games during the district, you might be 3-0, or you could be 2-1. But if you 2-1 if you're 2-0, well, if you're 2-0 after the first two games, and then you lose the third game against West Mesquite, and you end up 2-1, hey, the ball is still pretty much in your court. Because if you win one more game out of three, you pretty much. Playoffs. Like Jim Moore. it's gonna be playoffs. So, but yeah, ding ding. That means it's gonna be playoff time. So, so looking forward to this Friday night coming up. It's homecoming. It's the first official game. Home game at Rose Stadium for the Gentile Lions. Homecoming night. It'll be officially October, so you're going to see some pink in the crowd, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's homecoming. It's going to be a special night, hopefully a crisp night, a beautiful night, and another JT win. But let me run over these stats real quick individually. Cam Grant, 122 yards on just 8 carries. Roger Hawk is just doing his thing, just adding power. I don't even know if you could call them thunder and lightning. It might be thunder, and lightning, because Cam Grant can bring the thunder and the lightning. Roger Hawkins, he's just a spark. special young man. I could see it last year as he came on the scene and did his thing. But let me say this though. I'm not gonna keep y'all too long on this Saturday. But hey, I can't believe we this far to the season. It goes by so quick, man. It seemed like yesterday we was getting ready for the first game. So, but this is the time. Hey, this is the time. This is an exciting time. It's district time. We got some formidable opponents coming up. We ain't gonna overlook Wiley's, but business needs to be handled. Friday night, Rose Stadium. Be there. It's homecoming. It's enough said. And watch these Lions do their thing. But I'm gonna pass it back off to Rob. But look, let me give the shout outs. You know what I'm saying? We do this. You know, shout out to Keela Henderson, great host last night at the event last night. Hey, I'm gonna shout out my other Flash brother. I think he's shooting a wedding or something. I actually got some events coming up in October. Hey, S4G Photography. Search me, CJ Photography. On you gotta search it that way to bring up the like page on Facebook. CEEJAY Photography. Hey, we still got some special stuff coming up for y'all. You never know. It might be something next week. You know, we don't know. Okay. We just don't know what's gonna happen, okay? So, hey, shout out to y'all watching Ohio State and Penn State. I might take a private jet up to Penn. Nah, I ain't gonna go up to the Beaver Stadium. I'm not going up there. But man, oh yeah. Shout out to my bro. Shout out to my homie Key. He had the Master Chef competition in Dallas. Y'all check out his restaurant, K&K House of Flavor. 2122 North Grand. If you're coming off MLK, it's it's in the orange building to the left before you get over the railroad tracks. Check him out. It good. Hey, he does specials, so hey, check him out, man. And I'm gonna pass it back out to Rob. Y'all have a lovely weekend. I got some football to watch tomorrow. I'm gonna see how many of my picks win. Hopefully I won't take a lot of L's. And it's a bunch of hot dubs, and that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. As y'all know, like I said, I don't do shout outs because everybody hates me, and I just shout out people that I just want to start stuff with. But anyway, man, yeah, man. Saturday night, I might be at the 50 grand tonight, y'all. This club everybody's talking about. I might show my face and pop up there. I might be there. CJ say he going, so he might be going. I don't know. It's anyway. Oh yeah, the fair. I didn't get to go to. I haven't been in the fair in like 2-3 years. I think this the last week. This the last week, last day. Tomorrow the last day. Today or tomorrow. Looks like I won't be there. I want to go to the food, but anyway. That's what it is, man. College football going on right now. We got who is this? We got the football with the Cowboys play tomorrow. Oh, they got about they play the Lions. Okay, I get to watch that one. Okay, Cowboys play tomorrow. Make sure y'all check out Chisel the Donuts, his NFL reviews and stuff. It's hilarious. Yeah, and then check out the dude Scott McGruger, whatever his name is. He does like Cowboys reactions and stuff. Check him out too. But we finna be out of here, going down. We out. YouTube. Shout out to Zena too. All the we out.